ここからは Q&A セッションということで、皆様からの質問を受けたいと思いますが、先ほどのおっしゃってた、そうですね、
effective way to actually involve, to participate, and make real change.
Probably 15 minutes from. Okay. It was teachers in.
アニスさん、ありがとうございました。ここからは Q&A セッションということで、皆様からの質問を受けたいと思いますが、マイクランナーの方大丈夫ですか？はい。では質問したい方、手を挙げてください。お願いします。それではじゃあ、後ろの方。はい、あったので。
Thank you so much, guys. It's such an honor for us. First of all, my name is Deanti. I'm currently a PhD student at Sophia University from Environmental Science Department.
Deanti.
Hindi ako kasi panggil. So the questions I noticed in prior talks and discussions, I noticed that you always highlight the idea of meritocracy in Indonesian political discourse. But however, I think most of us also are aware that Indonesian educational system has not enforced the ideal of meritocracy itself, and not even designed for students or young generations to prepare for the future, to and efficient to be political participations in practice. So 2 questions, I make it shorter. The first one, do you think that there will be any potential dangers if we rely too much or heavily in meritocracy, the idea of meritocracy in Indonesian political system, especially for young generations?
Do you think?
Is there any potential dangers?
Dangers?
Yes, dangers. Or risks, consequences, if we highly rely in idea of meritocracy in Indonesia's political system, especially for young generations' participations. And second point, as a person who's ever participated in a system of political in Indonesia, what kind of reforms in the context of political system of Indonesia, especially for democracy itself, so the government can balance the power of democracy, the idea of meritocracy, but also fulfilling the societal of equity. So there's no gap of economics and social among the young generations in the future. That's all. I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no. Get 3, 4, and then.
それではあと2つぐらいをもらってから一番今早かったので後ろの方お願いします。メガネをかけた方お願いします。全然違います。はい、その方です。あり
がとうございました。
はい。短くお願いします。
はじめまして。Thank you very much for your time. My name is Isan. I work in Japan for 10 years right now. But since you joined the election, I start like a more follow like what things happen in Indonesia. I'm really happy you are part of our election before. My question is like you also like showed before like last month have like a big demonstration of young people demonstration in the street, or actually like we call it Darurat Indonesia. So have you ever think this movement is kind of late? Because if we know like start from MK stuff, that for my perspective is like there's a lot of like unnormally situation like Uncle Usman, MKMK, or Cawe Cawe. Have you ever think that kind of Darurat Indonesia, last one, is kind of late? That is my question. Sorry, my second question is...
Your name?
Just one question.
Name, Nama?
Isan. Isan, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, my last question maybe like just a little bit like 5 years quite long, but I will have a think like what you want to do after this for these 5 years. We will wait you for us as our leader in Indonesia. I hope so. Thank you very much.
もう一人、今一番早かったので、はい。では3人の質問を受けてからお答えしていただきたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。First of all, thank you so much for coming back to Japan after a long time, I guess. My name is Mutia. I'm currently living in the prefecture next to Tokyo. I'm living in Kanagawa Prefecture right now. I'm working. Yeah, it's been like almost half of my life living in Japan right now. I've been participating. I'm trying my best to participate in involving in Indonesian democracy. Even though I'm way far away from home, but sometimes I have comments like, you don't experience what we do here in Indonesia. You chose to move to Japan, work there, or even worse, you're not Indonesian enough. But I was like, am I not Indonesian enough? With my passport in me is Indonesian. So what do you think is the most effective way to actually involve, to participate, and make real change in Indonesian democracy even though we're far from home? Thank you.
それでは、アニスさん、答えていただけましたでしょうか。
If you wanna two more, then it's okay.
Two more?
Yeah, then I'll ask fast.
Okay.
I'll answer first.
Yeah. Everybody within time. So, 2 more. Yes, now she is
Halo, Assalamualaikum Pak Anies. Susah soalnya ngomong assalamualaikum di Jepang. So thank you so much for coming to Tokyo. It was an honor for me. I'm a student from University of Tokyo, and back then, before the election, I was rooting for you for the election, for the presidential election, and I think that this topic is really relate for me because in the digital era, it really helps me to choose, like to have a candidate for the election. So I think, oh, my name is TR. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous right now. My name is TR, T-I-A-R. Yes. So I think that there is a phenomenon in Indonesia right now where everything needs to be viral first before taking actions, right? So, for example, people are not afraid of taking a wrong action because it's wrong, but people are afraid to take a wrong action because they are afraid to be viral. So in this case, is this the future of our digital democracy? Is this what we are leading to? And what is your opinion about this? Thank you so much.
Dibuka. Dibantu. Dibukain. Dibukain tanda tangannya.
Baik, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Minta izin saya bicara bahasa Indonesia ya karena lebih lancar daripada bahasa Inggris. Baik, terima kasih atas kesempatannya Bapak. Dan I hope you enjoy staying in Tokyo. Saya ada satu pertanyaan tentang yang
英語か日本語だ。
英語か日本語。じゃあ日本語で。先ほどのおっしゃってた、そうですね、若者がソーシャルメディアを使って、
ヒゲの旦那さんになくて、日本語がわからないんですけど、皆さん、通訳が英語と日本語しかないので、じゃあまずインドネシア語ができるんですよね。
はい。
じゃあ、Lunanya Indonesia saja ya dulu ya.
Boleh.
すいません。
Kan kalau bahasa Jepang nanti Akiko minta
Ya,
jemaah.
oke, bisa, tapi Indonesia. Nah, Nihongo-nya harus yo.
Namanya, nama?
Perkenalkan nama saya Akiho Alka-Ihao. Akiho dari Keio University. Saya sebagai kedokteran pelajar di Universitas Muhammadiyah Makassar juga mahasiswa S2.
短くお願いします。はい。
Mungkin banyak anak muda termasuk saya juga kalau cari info tentang politik sekarang pakai sosmed. Lalu yang kebanyakan pakai IG atau TikTok dan ada AI-nya, ada algoritmnya. Mungkin kalau cari mungkin 1 bulan yang lalu itu kayak tukang kayu terus kayak gitu. Lalu sebelumnya saya sebelum cari tentang info itu yang biru-biru, yang Pancasila sebelum itu saya suka cari kucing terus. Dan setelah itu ikan tukang kayu terus, kayak gitu. Jadi pasti ada algoritmenya. Dan pasti itu bikin biasnya kayak waktu pemilu mungkin yang Bapak pasti yang info tentang Bapak terus. Mau yang nomor 2 terus, yang nomor 3 terus, pasti ada biasanya. Jadi mungkin anak muda itu kirain saya sudah dapat banyak info, saya sudah dapat banyak ilmu tentang politik, tapi ternyata itu sudah pakai algoritma. Jadi ya kayak begitu menurut sudut pandangannya Bapak gimana kalau ada biasnya pakai sosmed gitu. Ya, terima kasih.
クエスチョンはアルゴリズム、SNS 使った時にアルゴリズムが入ってくると思うんですけど、それについてどう思うかという、簡単に言うとそういう話でした。そうでした。
So bisa. Pertama di ante ya. Your questions has raised my eyebrows. You said, is it risky to think about meritocracy in politics? And then the second question was, how you incorporate meritocracy into a political system? This is what I think. In any election, the general public would never have complete information about a political party or a candidate anywhere in the world. Because many of our voters were now paying attention about candidates, about politics, about policy on day-to-day basis. Many were busy with their own businesses, with their lives, and not paying much attention toward individuals, candidates, or political parties. In fact, if you look at surveys, in many surveys, about 1/4 to 1/3 of voters were saying, I will decide in the last few days before election. The candidates were running around the whole year, okay? And 1/4 to 1/3 of the voters were saying, I will decide in the last few days. Why? Because they're busy with their lives. So, this is actually the idea why meritocracy is important. Because it's the political party that has the moral responsibility to have meritocratic process in the nominations of candidates for any position, for the legislature, for local elections such as Bupati, Wali Kota, governor, even presidents. So meritocracy should be adopted by the political party in the nomination process. If they nominate the right person, whoever is elected, the public will not be in trouble. Okay? Because whoever is nominated have gone through meritocratic process. The problem is when meritocracy is absent, then you may be seeing sudden candidate. Not sudden death, but sudden candidate. Okay? Some are experiencing that on arrival too. Okay? So sudden candidate, because there is no meritocratic process. And I think we should start with that process. Political party will have to have clear set of argument why we nominated this person. List of argument should be there, and I think track records can be meaningful. So someone with proper records to serve the public. If you have no records of public serving, don't go to election. But don't change the law too. You don't have a record, then you change the law. That's a problem. So my take is this: it is not risky. I think still important, and it is meritocracy that can change Indonesia. Not only the political system, in education, in business. I think we really need to adopt that. We are so behind. And you're right, I've been saying meritocracy of, in various different forums, the importance of having meritocracy. It is not perfect, and there is no perfect meritocratic system, but we should always incorporate meritocratic value in every process in our society. Bung Iksan, we had a protest last month, and is it too late? I think better late than never. Right? It's better late than never. You're saying we should have protested last year when the first decision by the constitutional court. And I think part of the reason is this. Part of the reason this time the decision by the court was not being upheld. The parliament is trying to undo the decision by the court, and I think that's what sparked the general public to then step up and protest it. When the decision of the court was not a decision that people like, people generally not protesting to the court because it's a decision by constitutional court. We may not like the decision, but we have to honor it. We brought our election irregularities to the constitutional court. We presented the case, and it is not the first time that presidential election being brought to the constitutional court. But it is first time that 3 out of 8 judges were having dissenting opinion. Basically, they're saying there is valid evidence to question the result of the elections. But still, it's 3 out of 5, out of 8. So we didn't like the result, but that doesn't mean we didn't honor the decision. We didn't like the result, but we honor the decision. But that's, when you're practicing being a modern democratic person, then that's the way you do it. Whenever there is dispute, you go to the court decides, you may not like it, but accept it. So, what do you think of the last protest? I think it was positive. It is a reminder for me, the way I look at it is this. It is a reminder that we still have a large number of our population willing to step up when there is irregularities in our political system. Masih banyak stok orang baik di Republik ini. Mutia, you're away and you're still actively engaged. Thank you. Thank you for actively participating in our election. I always said And I said that this afternoon too, when I had a meeting at the community at the Sekolah Republik Indonesia at the masjid. I mentioned that being Indonesians in a faraway land, you can never disengage with Indonesia. The plane can take your body away, but the plane cannot take your mind and your heart away from Indonesia. It is there forever. It's never to look away. So my suggestion is, you have the digital mobile with you. Be active, be participative. So use this device to share your thought, to share best practices, to stimulate new thinking in Indonesia. And once you are here, it doesn't matter whether you are in Karawang or you are in Canada. It doesn't matter, because here you are the same. So being in Canada, you can still be actively engaged over there. So my suggestion is continue doing that. And sometimes you have this question, so why should I do that? Why should I continue to engage? I think there's a sense of happiness that you will have. When my country is experiencing this problem, you can tell yourself, I'm not part that stays silent and do nothing. I am away from Indonesia, but I am not away from the problem that Indonesia is facing. I am part of the solutions that Indonesia is trying to have. And that makes you feel good. And it makes you feel like responsible Indonesians being away. It doesn't matter if you're holding passport, Indonesia or other passport. But you're born in Indonesia, you're Indonesian, and you take responsibility. I appreciate your participation. Thank you. If it's not viral, there's no attention to it. Where is the other? Okay, your question should go viral too. I think it is not only in Indonesia, across the globe. Across the globe, it's a new phenomenon. That everything that attracted attention will have policymakers also pay more attention. This is the difference. In the past, who decide to make an event viral? It's the chief editors of the media. In the newsroom, they have a conversation, they talk about it, they decide what issues should be put in the front page. Once it is in the front page, it becomes public attention. So this morning, I opened the newspaper, in the front page, kereta lepas. Betul. Gerbong lepas ikan saya. Apa itu namanya? Disengage, the bullet train disengage. It's the chief editors that decide. Nowadays, it's the general netizen who decide. So when things attracted attention of the general public, it attracted attention of the public. So on that issue, I think it's normal. What is not normal, I think what is you're referring to, is this. What you're referring is this. There is rules and regulations, okay, being disobeyed, okay, and then the law enforcement do nothing about it until it went viral. That's what we're referring to, right? And on that issue, it is a problem. The law enforcement agencies should take any case, regardless how viral the issue is. It doesn't matter. If it is against the law, if it is breaking the law, they should intervene, they should enforce the law. As simple as that. And it should start from the very top. If the top leadership tolerate wrongdoings, then the subordinates will be tolerating as well. But if the top is never give any tolerance to any wrongdoing, then any subordinates will continue that. So let me, because of this question, let me share with you why, when you are in top leadership, you should uphold values. This is leadership issues. If I'm managing 20 individuals, then I'm going to assign every individual a certain job to do. So here, this is your job. Okay? And then I assign Iksan, this is your job. And other people, this is your job. I'm describing what you have to do if I'm managing 20 people. But if I'm managing 200 people, I will create an organizational structure. I will create SOP. I will create target for every directorates, for every departments to be achieved. That's when I'm managing 200 people. But if I'm managing 200,000 people, I have to outline values. What are the values of this leader? So that leaders of 200 people and leaders of 20 people can translate that values into their units. I manage Jakarta with 200,000 people. I cannot come to every department and telling them this is what you need to do. Okay. But I outline what are the key. Number one, this is my value. Number one, equal opportunity for every Jakartans. Okay, so every department has to translate that into their action. Okay, and then number two, law enforcement that address justice. And I clearly tell them, when you are dealing with citizens of Jakarta that break the law, there's two reasons why individuals are breaking the law. One, because of need. Two, because of greed. Need, kebutuhan. Greed, keserakahan. Okay? When the high-rise tower were pumping water, creating well, the depth is about 200 meters under the surface, and they're extracting waters. These are the kind of breaking our regulations because of greed, not because of need. When you are meeting pedagang kaki lima selling food street in the kaki lima, they are breaking the law because of need. The solution should be different. You should not be adopting the same approach. So those are values. So you outline the values, and then you allow the organizations to run. If you're leading a country, not only 200,000 people, you're dealing with 270 million people. You should clearly outline equal opportunity, no nepotism, clear. If that's your value, everyone will obey. If you then start their value, then everyone will be, I'm adopting nepotism too. Because the top one is adopting nepotism. Okay? No nepotisms. Equal opportunity. Equal opportunity means no nepotisms. And then you're talking about social justice. And then you're talking about everyone is equal before the law. So as a leader, you outline the values and then let leaders at the subordinate level translate those values into policies, into actions. Without that, then there is no clear guidance. Where are we heading? As a group, as an entity, as a nation. And that where we are dealing with issues like what Ian is talking about. Whenever there is a wrongdoing, breaking the law, and then it has to go viral before it gets attention. I think it is something to be fixed, it is something to be corrected, but it has to start from the top leadership. It cannot start from the middle. Akio, thank you. Very nice batik you're wearing. Echo chambers, that's what you're talking about. The algorithm, and it has made tendency that you are dealing with issues of your preference and tend to create echo chambers. And I think to address that aspect, we need to widen our reach. Seriously engage and searching other issues, not so much as passive participants, but more like an active participants. So if you are a supporter of Anis, for example, your social media will be flooded with positive stories about Anis. Start searching other issues that may not be related directly to Anis, and then start to find individuals or writers who are critical to Anis, so you can have balanced view about issues. And I think it is something important nowadays. And then on top of that, if I may suggest, we need to have good critical thinking, because nowadays we will be dealing with hoaxes, false informations. I think the best way to protect us from this misinformation, disinformation, and hoaxes are having critical thinking. Without having critical thinking, you will easily accepting false information or disinformation.
Thank you so much. 皆さん、もう時間ですので、もう終わらなければなりませんが、今日皆さん来ていただいて本当にありがとうございました。今、自民党、立憲民主党で、まさに日本でも代表を選ぶ選挙が行われていますが、さて、ここまでインドネシアの皆さんが熱狂するほど政治に関心を持ってみんな参加しているかというと、そうではありません。なので我々ぜひインドネシアのことを学びながら一緒にさらに民主主義を進めていけるように、若い人たちが一緒に学び合えるような、そういうのがもうちょっといろんなところで進むといいなと思っておりますので、もちろん上智大学をはじめいろいろなところでそういうチャンス作っていけたらなと思っております。引き続きよろしくお願いいたします。それでは最後にもう一度アニスさんに大きな拍手でお礼を言いたいと思います。ありがとうございます。それでは終わりたいと思います。皆さん、通訳の持ってらっしゃる方は必ず返してお帰りください。ありがとうございました。
Oh, by the way, your questions I haven't answered. What will you be doing after this? Yeah. I'm actually officially jobless. So, if there is kartu prakerja, I will apply for it. So I'm officially jobless. So what do I plan to do? I think I plan to continue doing what I did. Before I served in government, I was a university professor. I don't think I'm going back as a university professor, but I will be teaching for sure. I'll be coming to lecture. So if there is an invitation like this, I will definitely come and share some of my thinking. Definitely. Last week I was in Jogja. This week I'm now in Sofia. So we'll see next week somewhere else. So I will continue doing that. But secondly, I will also actively engage in civil society activism. We used to be sending teachers across Indonesia. It's called Indonesia Mengajar. Okay? And I haven't met the guy for many years, but he's a graduate of our teaching program. His name is, Shobit, can you stand up? Where are you now? Teaching where? Kasih microphone. So,
teaching here in Japan.
Ya, makasih waktu. Namanya, his name is Sugit, you're teaching where?
Utsunomiya University.
Utsunomiya?
Utsunomiya, probably 50 minutes from.
Okay. He was a teacher in Halmahera, Selatan. In the area where there is no electricity, there is no signal. Sugit was there. So we have project like that. So I'm going to continue doing some of the work that I've done before I'm in government. Some also talking about forming a political party. So if any of you interested, we'll think about it. But we'll talk about it more further. But now more on social services, more on perhaps organisasi kemasyarakatan. That's what we're trying to organize. So I'll keep myself busy. So even though I don't have official work with government, but we're going to continue working outside government. And that's your questions that I forget to answer. Sama-sama. Those who have asked questions, can you stand up? Can you stand up? Ya, maju ke depan, saya kasih buku satu-satu. Bukunya ditandatanganin tuh ya. Ya. Terima kasih teman-teman semuanya. Terima kasih sudah datang. Mudah-mudahan kita akan jumpa di lain waktu. Dan please, for those who have interest in Indonesia, please continue to monitor and please help to ensure that our democracy is continuing on the right track. Those who are still studying, good luck with your study. Good luck with your study. My pesan, my message is only 2 words. Wherever you're doing, impress them. Impress them. You represent Indonesia, impress the Japanese with the Indonesian students. Okay? Terima kasih.